They say Benafim was built here for one reason: water. But look around. There's no river, there's no lake, not even a trickle. So where is it? I'll show you the answer. But first, where even is Benafim? And don't get confused with Ben Safri like I do. Benafim is home to over 400 people, although I couldn't have seen 40 when I was there this week. It's on the N124 road, which is not to be confused with the famous N125, which is the Algarve's main road. Now, this lesser-known country route starts down southwestern Lagoa, travels northeast up through Silves, the ancient Moorish capital of the Algarve. It heads up towards Messines, through Alte, and passes directly through Benafim and then onto Salir, up into the hills, and peters out near Alcuting on the Spanish border. So it's quite a legendary route. The best way to get there, to Benafim, is by car or taxi. Bus route 89 takes you from Loulé to Messines, stopping in at Benafim. You can also catch the 83 to Salir and then down to Loulé through Tor. It's about 20 minutes from Loulé by car and about 30 minutes down to the beach. So it appears to be in the middle of nowhere, but it's not really. Hey, my name is Nick Robinson. I've been living in the Algarve for over almost 25 years now, and I love it. And if you want to relocate to the Algarve too, we can help you, because we've set up a relocation agency and a certified real estate agency as well. We act as buying agents, and we've helped so many people. So if you want, just jump onto algarveaddicts.com/contact, fill out the form, and you'll jump onto a free discovery call with one of our team members. All right, let's get back to this video. Benafim's a fascinating spot. No, really, it is. I'm up here on the top, the highest point above Benafim. I don't know if you can hear me, but it's blowing a howling gale. Ooh, I'm stucking under my car, so maybe you can hear me. But it's really, really windy today. Back in the old days, when you're cruising around the outback, as it was, you didn't call a surveyor. You read the land, the greenest trees, the dampest soil, the spot where goats stopped to paw at the earth. That's where you dug. And in Benafim, sooner or later, you'd hit it. The mountains' hidden veins of water. Springs became fountains, wells, and lifelines in a land where drought ruled. Knowing how to find water was survival. What those old farmers poking around in the dirt for water didn't know was that they were sitting on the Algarve's largest aquifer, which is also a water-bearing rock. And that currently supplies us with a large amount of fresh water. We also have 6 major dams, with another in the pipeline, so to speak. Thankfully, it's warming up a little bit. Wow, that was a chilly early morning walk. This is a nora, an old water wheel once turned by donkeys or mules, lifting water bucket by bucket out of the ground. And I first learned about these at the Water Museum in Querença, where you see how communities across the Algarve have built entire systems around water. There were cisterns to catch the rain, poços or wells to reach the aquifer, stone channels that carried water to fields, and fontes, the village fountains where daily life revolved. Standing here, you realize just how much thought and effort went into every single drop of water. In a place where drought was always waiting, this wasn't just clever engineering, it was survival. Benafim has kind of like an odd structure. So as we approach the town from the north, we're looking south. This eastern section of the town is more the newer part of the town, and it's got a central roundabout with Bruno's bar and 2 snack bars right there. I went in for a coffee. I'll have one just after this drone tour. And then there's a pharmacy just up the road. We just passed over it. But doctors, you may have to head to Salir, Alte or Messines. So if you know that there are a doctor in Benafim, let me know in the comments. I'd love to know. Loulé Hospital is 18 minutes drive away, and that's an international hospital, so they all speak English there, and it's private medical. Schools. Now, Benafim has a creche up near the social center, which actually is an old age home. It's a nice word for it. And they've got a primary school as well. So the church which is strangely situated right at the top of the old town. The church is beautifully restored, and at night, apparently it's gorgeously lit up. An old lady told me as I was taking a photograph of the church, she said, "You really need to come back here at night," and she pointed out all the lights, which was so sweet. We end at the top of the town where the water reservoir is, and that smartly enough is the highest point around. And you can see, as we zoom out here, you can see the impressive Rocha da Pena just north, which is this beautiful tabletop mountain. And it was, home to Moorish fortifications back in the day. And then there's a gorgeous breakfast spot called Quinta do Freixo, which is actually like an agroturismo or a bed and breakfast. I went there for breakfast a bit later on to meet a local resident. Actually, she's not local, she's from the Ukraine, and she's moved to a little village just nearby Benafim. So that's quite an interesting little insight. So, let's zoom out and have another quick look at Benafim's structure. So the newer part of the town is in the east, dissected neatly by roads with a central roundabout where the bar and restaurants are situated, along with a gas station, sports centre, and Querença supermarket. Then it thins out to the west and expands up to the old town, with a church raining down from the top of the hill, the water reservoir even higher up the hill. Benafim Pequeno is clearly a very small neighbouring town, and that's off to the west, kind of isolated. I'll walk you through there in a bit. It's intriguing. Now down, back to the main road, we have Hamburger restaurant, which I still haven't eaten at, but it's one of the largest restaurants in town. So let's go for a coffee in the little snack bar, Sopa Algarve, and then we'll go for a quick walkabout around town. And there's Anna. Hello. Okay, so we've just had breakfast here at Quinta do Freixo, which is fantastic. Didn't have the full breakfast, but it was good. So we're here with Anna, who's relocated from the Ukraine, unfortunately because of the war. But she's loving it here in Algarve. And she's bought a place right in the middle of nowhere between Benafim and Salir around about here. So Anna, what's it like living in the middle of nowhere in Portugal, and why would you come here?
It's actually fascinating. Very quiet, and it's very nice to live in a place where you feel safe and you feel protected, because Portugal is a very safe country, as you know, nowadays.
Long may it continue, yeah. That'd be nice. But now, obviously, you could have picked anywhere. You could pick Lagos, you could have picked Villarreal, Sant Antonio. Why did you pick near Salir or near Benafim?
I don't know. Maybe it was just a destiny.
Because it's certainly quiet and peaceful around here, right?
Yeah. It has a lot of beautiful gardens, which are fulfilled with beautiful fruit trees. And if you will ask your neighbors if you can walk in and take some fruits, it feels like heaven, like you can just eat from the tree.
Like the Garden of Eden.
Yeah. Yeah.
So tell me, like, about practicalities. Obviously being quite far. We're about 20 minutes away from Loulé, 18 minutes from Loulé and Benafim. That's pretty easy to get to. Where do you go for hospitals? Where do you go for hospitals?
Well, I think the closest and the nicest hospital is in Loulé. If it goes for like, oh my God, yes. If we're talking about analysis and everything, that I think even in Salir, they're like something lab, like a Sinu lab or something.
Oh yeah, to take blood and things like that. Yeah, medical lab.
So, and it's nice. It's quite nice. And if I need to go shop or do groceries, this all I also can buy in Salir, because I think there's a spa there. But if I need something specific, I can go to Loulé, to Continent, because it's very big. And for shopping,
you'd go to Continent in Loulé, right?
Yeah, Continent in Loulé, the biggest one there on the side.
And then obviously there's Mar shopping.
Yeah, and of course the Mar shopping, as we all know.
Yeah, which I try and stay away from, but I seem to go there too often.
Oh, okay.
And do you go there often?
Right now, yes, because as I am building my house, I need to pay a lot of visits to IKEA. Yeah.
Or Leroy Merlin or places like that, yeah. Well, that's fantastic. So it's not really that much of a problem living out in the middle of nowhere. It's just a 20-minute drive. So that's perfect. Well, Anna, thank you so much. Really appreciate you coming on and telling us a bit about your life. It's amazing having like a beauty queen from Ukraine living in the middle of the bush here.
Yeah, maybe I was just very scared when the war started. My brain was like, okay, we could not survive this again. We should go very far from Russia,
So this is the furthest you could get within Europe.
Yes, yeah, this is the furthest that here in continent of Europe. So here I am.
Thanks so much to Anna for taking the time, and also to Quinto de Freixo for providing the fantastic venue. As I walk around Benafim, just notice that there's some beautifully restored houses right next to these old ruins, and there's so many old ruins, it just feels like massive opportunities here. But then who would come and buy them? Anyway, I'll chat about this a little bit more later. I was just chatting to two old people who are trying to sell me every single house in Benafim. So where would we be without Benafim's aquifer? This big rock that the whole town is sitting on, and it just feeds a lot of the Algarve through its water. Well, we'd be struggling, because obviously during when it rains, it fills up, and it's a great reservoir. So it's a very, very important part of the Algarve as we get more and more into drought-stricken times. Thankfully, we've just recently had some really good rain, so it's alleviated, but you can see it on the horizon. There's more people, the infrastructure is failing a little bit, and it's a big issue for local politicians. Anyway, and little villages like Benafim as well, like what's stopping them from becoming totally abandoned, like all the rest of the villages in northern, sort of central Portugal, I guess, but northern Portugal as well. All over the country, there are these abandoned villages. So what is stopping them? Well, I'd love to hear your answers in the comments. What do you think could be done to save these villages? It does require some investment, some sort of financial incentives or something to try and stimulate business in these small areas. But then again, businesses often sort of harm the environment and degrade it. So, it's a very, very difficult balance to strike. So I'd love to hear your opinions. Let's have a good old chat in the comments, shall we? So now my Algarve Unlocked series is going well. We've got quite a few villages coming up in the northwest, or towns coming up in the northwest of the Algarve. So right out on the western coast, there's Odesseish, there's a place called Valdotella near Algezur, and Algezur itself as well. So I'm going to be addressing these all in coming weeks. All right, so hang in there. We're getting to the bigger ones, and it's getting more and more exciting as we go. All right, thanks again for watching. Have a fantastic week. Really appreciate you guys. And just one more word. All you guys out there who watch week after week after week, it is so wonderful to meet you. I've met quite a few of you, and I just want to say thanks especially to you guys who've hung in there from the beginning. So I really appreciate you. All right, cheers. Keep well. AlgarveAddicts.com. We'll see you next week, but if you need any help relocating to the Algarve, click through to our website, AlgarveAddicts.com. We offer tours, immigration assistance, long-term rentals, and we can buy your house.